Hey guys, it's Chef Jason for the Colorado Beef Council. Very awesome and easy recipe today, but total time saver too, because we're talking about whiskey molasses shredded beef in the slow cooker. And the best part is we don't have a lot of ingredients involved in this. We're starting with that beautiful bottom round or rump roast, right? We're gonna get it into the slow cooker. And like I said, time saver, because you can set this for low heat or high heat. And then the best part is go about your day, get your errands done, everything. And then when it's time for dinner, this is going to be ready. So let's take a walk through our ingredients super quick. We have a little bit of prep to do. We'll get everything loaded into the slow cooker and we'll get cooking. We start off with a bottom round roast, also known as that rump roast. This is 2.5 pounds, and I look for one that didn't have a lot of excessive fat on it. We're gonna come back and get that all cut up. We're gonna start off whiskey, right? Because this is whiskey shredded beef. Then a little bit of apple cider vinegar, tomato paste, some beautiful brown sugar, molasses, because we're gonna add a beautiful depth of flavor, a little bit of salt, a little bit of ground red pepper. Now, the cool part, when we are done, we're gonna make a fun little marinated apples and carrots with Dijon mustard, brown sugar, a little bit of apple cider, shredded carrots, and then look at that. We're gonna get a little bit of tartness out of those Granny Smiths. We are going into the slow cooker today, and like it said, we can go for 4 to 6 hours or 8 to 10, depending really how much time you have. But when we get done, the beautiful part of the shredded beef gives you a lot of options. You could make some street tacos, you could do some sliders, or you could do a bigger sandwich to feed your family for dinner. But a lot of versatility, a lot of options, and definitely super easy in the slow cooker. We went ahead and trimmed off any connective tissue or any excess fat. Now, what we're gonna do is basically cut these into kind of 1-inch long pieces. We'll get this all set, and then we're gonna go into the slow cooker with these and top it with our whiskey molasses sauce. So we get them cut that way, and then I'll go through and cut them that way as well. And I'm cutting them in, like I said, about 1-inch wide strips. This is gonna allow that to cook a little bit faster, and then at the end, it's gonna help us shred them a lot easier. Now that it's all sliced, we'll go ahead and get these arranged into the slow cooker. Don't worry about packing them in. Let them go in there nice and loose. Then we'll come back, we're gonna top it with that beautiful whiskey molasses sauce. We're gonna make the whiskey molasses sauce that's gonna go into the slow cooker. I'm gonna start off by adding my whiskey. I'm gonna go ahead and add that apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna add that brown sugar. I went with dark brown sugar just to give it a little more depth of flavor. We have the ground red pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and add that salt. We'll scrape out and add in the tomato paste. That's gonna just really help this sauce form and become beautiful. Now, the great thing about this, when we're done, we're actually gonna take this sauce and make it into our finishing sauce. So it's gonna help us from a cooking standpoint, also gonna help us from the flavor standpoint. Now we'll add the molasses, get that ready, and in there, we'll go ahead and mix this up like so. We have the sauce all done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add this over the beef. Don't worry about mixing it in yet. We'll do that here in just a second. I wanna make sure I get everything out of the bowl. That is the most important thing. Got that all scraped. Just go ahead carefully and add that in, get it all mixed. I wanna make sure I get everything coated, and then leave it random again. Try not to pack it in there. We want that to do its thing. Now, I have the timer on 4 hours. I have the heat setting on high. We'll go ahead and leave it, and we'll come back here and check in 4 hours because I'm gonna check for tenderness. That's gonna be kind of my first visual cue that we are close and ready to go. Well, a good thing to do while that beef is in the slow cooker is to go ahead and make this carrot and apple slaw. So we bought some shredded carrots. I went ahead and diced some Granny Smith apples, which are gonna give it just a beautiful tartness. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and add that brown sugar. I'm gonna add some of that apple cider vinegar as well. And lastly, we'll add a little bit of that mustard. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and mix this up, get everything dialed in and flavored really nicely. Now, one of the cool things is we'll come back and season this with a little bit of salt and pepper as well. But what I wanna do is let those apples weep a little bit, let everything work into the carrots and apples. We'll cover this, put it in the fridge, and then right before we serve it, we'll season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Well, here we are right at that 4-hour mark. And what we said was we were gonna go about 4 to 6 hours. Really, we're gonna judge it based on doneness. So as I put my fork in there, not quite tender yet. We're a little bit tender, right? But not really shreddable tender. So we'll go ahead and leave this now. We'll cook it in 30-minute increments, continue to monitor this. And once we feel it's fork tender, ready to be shredded, we'll pull it out, we'll get it shredded, and we'll show you how to finish this off and really make an epic, epic sandwich. Okay, so we checked that beef right at that 4-hour mark, and then we continued to cook it in 30-minute increments because we wanted to make sure it was fork tender. That was important to us. Now it is done. Took us total cook time of about 6 hours. We made that slaw as well, getting that all set. We seasoned it up with a little bit of salt and pepper, and we are in a good place. Now, what we're gonna do is, there's 2 different ways you can do this next step. You can remove the beef onto your cutting board and fork shred it, or you can do it right in that slow cooker as well with those forks. Now, I'm gonna leave it in the slow cooker. I'm gonna hand shred this with a couple forks, get it all nice and shred it up, but then get it absorbing that sauce so that we really have a great finish to it. So we'll go ahead, we'll get in here nice and close. We'll show you how we fork shred that, get it all ready, and then we're gonna get this set. Today, I'm gonna make a sandwich. I thought this molasses whiskey beef is going to be absolutely perfect on a sandwich, but I'll tell you, we're gonna top it with a little bit of that apple carrot slaw as well. So let's dig in here. We'll get this shredded. We'll show you how we build that sandwich. Then we're gonna have to do a little quality control as well. You can already see I broke one of these up. Basically what I'll do is take my fork and go through here now and just start shredding that beef. And then guess what? I'm gonna mix that beef into that sauce because it's gonna do a really fantastic job soaking everything up. Now, shred this as fine or as coarse as you like it. I think as long as we go through here and get these shredded up into nice pieces, we should be good. Now, my tip for you, one of the things I like to do is hold that piece and then just pull away from it. Then I'll back up and just shred a little bit more. But we'll go through here, get this all finished. Next up, we're gonna show you how to make quite an amazing little sandwich. Well, like we said, it's great when you shred this beef because you can really do it in random pieces like I did. I have some big pieces, I have some fine pieces, and I think texturally that's gonna make a really fantastic sandwich. Now, I'm gonna stir this slaw up here, make sure I get everything in there, get it all set, flavored, seasoned, everything. Now, what I'll do next, I've got that beautiful pretzel bun. I'm gonna go ahead, add a little bit of that shredded beef, or a lot, depending on what you prefer, on top. All right, next in, big pinch of slaw, across the top like so. All right, we've turned that whiskey molasses beef into this amazing sandwich. We topped it with that carrot apple slaw, and you are now set and ready to go. Don't forget to subscribe to the Colorado Beef Council YouTube channel because you definitely want to be notified when these videos and recipes go live. Then, if you're looking for today's recipe, head over to cobeef.com. That's cobeef.com, Colorado Beef Council's website. Click on the tab called Cooking. You can head in there, grab all of our recipes and more. We've got an exceptional collection of things for you to enjoy that will really fuel some amazing cooks. Now, don't forget, before we go, my chef's tip for you. If you don't have a slow cooker, don't sweat it. This also works great in a pressure cooker. You can also braise it in a Dutch oven, in your oven, or on your grill or in your smoker as well. So, very versatile recipe, a lot of amazing ways to get these same results and more. Then, guess what? It's time. It's time for a little quality control, and I am excited to dig in here because I have been smelling this in the kitchen literally all day long. That is shredded beef happiness. Cheers.